fighters are back in camp.
Deji is back sparring with Daily Perales. King Kenny is clearly back training. And Jarvis announced that he has a big fight coming up.
I want my guy to win the fight, and I just want whatever actually happened in the ring to be portrayed on the decision. And I don't feel like that's what happened on the fight. This is professional boxing, and this is boxing where we're looking to do damage.
Get him out of there. He's never been stopped. So I was really excited for that fight. I was really looking forward to it because I want to be the first person to stop Minikon.
Hello and welcome back to Misfits News. I'm your host, Ben the Bane Davis, as always joined by my co-host, BL. Today, we have a decently exciting episode, but before we get into it, BL, how are you?
Ben, it's good to see you as always, and I like how you're covering your hair this time, because a lot of people had something to say in the comments last time.
All right.
We got a big episode for you. The latest update on KSI's injury, and fighters are back in camp. However, we also have a special guest for you at the end of this episode.
I love it. Now, the question everyone has is when will KSI return, right? The timeline, the date. Are we going to get information on it? Well, we might have an answer for you. KSI's coach has revealed that he will be testing KSI's hand in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
When will his hand be 100% again?
We'll be looking to test it in the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks.
Indicating that there's maybe going to be a return early next year. KSI, I think, has gone on record saying first quarter 2025, so that timeline would line up, but man, I mean, BL, this is a pretty significant injury if we're talking mid-August, to mid-November that he's been out of commission.
It's a nasty injury, especially one that you get either in the knuckle. He can't do any punching. He can't get into boxing properly yet, which is concerning because obviously whoever his opponent is getting a lot of practice in, and obviously he can't get that practice in right now. However, I do believe we're going to see him in the first quarter of next year. That is what the rumors are seeming to be. That's what he is pushing to be. And also some interesting information is that he is getting heavier. He is currently at 200 pounds because he's looking to knock his opponents out. So I'm hoping his hand's okay because he wants to knock someone out. He needs to have a healed hand.
I agree with that, and I'd love some more details about this. I don't know if there is more that KSI and crew is willing to share, but it would be nice to know, right? The specifics on what occurred, the incident that injured this hand. I mean, it just would help with figuring out the timeline, but either way, best wishes to his recovery, and yeah, hope we see him soon. Deji is back sparring with Daily Perales. King Kenny is clearly back training in the kitchen. He's cooking, and Jarvis announced that he has a big fight coming up, and also we've got the Jay Swingler return, which we did in Dublin, and that Nick LMAO rematch, I think, is going to be quite exciting.
There's some big names, Ben, and it really sounds like they're starting to get into their camps and starting to get boxing ready, which I'm loving to see. As you say, Jay Swingler, the return of him is so important to crossover boxing. He's one of the main faces. I remember when he used to be back, the crowd used to roar his name, so I cannot wait to see that. And Jarvis, let's touch on that. He had a fight in Mexico. What was that all about?
Well, people are calling it a pro boxing match. I would disagree entirely with that vocabulary. It was a squash match. He went down there and beat up some random guy who was unfortunately labeled as a professional. No disrespect to Jarvis. In fact, I think more fighters should go and take these easy layups against random motherfuckers in other countries. It's live rounds. It's going hard against another human being. Why not do it? Why not get that experience? This is right, that Jarvis went to go crush. And he did in fantastic fashion. It was a nice left hook to the body, beautiful dig, and I truly hope that we see Jarvis against logical competition next time out. Well, talking about special guests, let's get in two people who were probably going to be on that now canceled Miami card. It is the returning Josh Brueckner and coach BJ Flores. With the unfortunate cancellation of the Miami event, we thought we'd bring in one of the stars of the last Miami show. It's none other than the dynamic duo of BJ Flores and Josh Brueckner. Gentlemen, how are we today? Let's start with Josh.
What's going on, you guys? Hey, thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to talk to you guys for the next 10, 15 minutes and just discuss everything going on. But yeah, I was looking forward to getting another fight. So Yeah.
I love it. Before we get into that, BJ, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having us on, guys. We appreciate it. And obviously we're looking forward to whatever's coming up next. Josh has been hard in camp and he's working hard, and I'm real happy with the progress that I'm seeing out of him, and his effort is incredible. So it's been a lot of fun working with him, and we're just getting started.
Absolutely. Now, before we talk about this shocking cancellation and frustrating turn of events for the 19th, let's just reminisce on what was a very successful last trip to Miami. Faze Temperrr, Brueckner, how do you reflect on that fight?
Yeah, I was very happy with the outcome of the fight, obviously. I think there's a lot to work on still, and me and BJ have been doing that ever since that fight. We got right back to training, and you're only as good as your last performance, and we got the win, so we're excited, but it's time to improve, and I'm excited to show you guys what I've been working on in the gym. And yeah, the fight was fun, man. It was good to get under the lights again. It's been so long for me. So yeah, I thrive in those situations, man. I like to be put in pressure, and you know what they say, pressure makes diamonds. So
Amen. And you were shining that night in Miami. What surprised you about Temperrr? Was there anything that gave you pause or had you thinking, oh, that was new?
no, I think we trained for Faze Temperrr exactly what we needed to do. And honestly, I don't think anything really surprised me. His camp was very confident. He sounded very confident in the pre-fight interviews, but I think when we got in that ring, it was just a different story. And I think we showed that there's a different level to this. And, I trained hard for that fight. I believe he did as well. So we just went out there and did what we had to do that night. And I think we executed our game plan a little better.
I love it. BJ, the workhorse as always. That fight was on August 10th. We're about 7 weeks removed from it. How much better would you say Brueckner is now with these added months of training with you?
It's a strange thing, It's called the sweet science for a reason. And it is a science. And getting back out there, like Josh said, getting back underneath those lights and, getting out there and getting reacquainted with the adrenaline and the fight week and all those different pressures that you feel that you don't feel during training camp. It's a big difference from training. Having that win and having that experience in Miami and a knockout victory like that as the main event in a big fight, in a tournament fight, for Misfits on a main event, all those things go into his confidence, and it really adds up. So I feel like he's at a place now where he's like, look, okay, I did it. We got the result we wanted. The fight, I think, was about a C+. It wasn't great at all. Josh has got a lot more to show, and he will show that next time out. And but it's all just getting back out there, and it's a process. It takes time. So I was happy with it, and I think over the last 7 weeks, he's stepped it up to a new level because he realizes he can be a star in this division, a star in this scene.
100%. And let's talk about that next time out, which was supposed to be on the 19th against Minikon, who we just saw against DTG in Dublin. Brueckner, what did you make of that performance?
Yeah, obviously I watched the fight. Me and BJ have broke it down, but there was nothing I really saw that surprised me. I think the only difference is he looked like he was in more shape. Obviously, he was coming down a weight class. So, but other than that, I'm not seeing anything that stood out to me. Like nothing was crazy. I actually watching the fight, credit to both the guys. I think it was a hard fought fight, but I think the fight could have swung either way. So, I think it was a good fight though. And, we know Minikon will be ready, and we're looking to go out there and, get him out of there. He's never been stopped. So I was really excited for that fight. I was really looking forward to it because I want to be the first person to stop Minikon.
Brueckner, you said that fight could have swung anyway. So, BJ, I'm going to throw it to you. How did you score that fight? What did you make of that fight?
I don't think either guy really did enough to have a clear, concise winner, honestly. DTG started a little better. Minikon came on late. One thing you got to give Minikon is he's durable, he's in shape, he's experienced. He's even with a lot of his losses, he's still gotten experience, and in this scene, that's a lot. So I picked him to win the fight. I thought he would beat DTG a little easier than he did, but you got to give credit to DTG. He boxed well. He's been working hard. Both guys were coming down in weight quite a bit. That's not always an advantage. Sometimes when you come down in weight, people think like, oh, you're going to be better. Everybody had DTG to beat Minikon except me and except a couple other ones. And it, showed that Minikon is, if you're a newcomer in this scene, in this division, you still got to go through guys like him to get to Josh. And, he showed a good performance. So you got to give him credit. And we're looking forward to the fight. But like I said, he's going to have to be very, very sharp and improve a lot to be able to make the 5 rounds with Josh.
Fair. And Josh, can you provide us what the communication was about this fight and the event being canceled? Obviously, you guys have been hard at work in training camp. This had to have come out of left field.
Yeah, totally. I mean, even before the last fight, there was kind of talks of another fight happening in Miami. Like the date was kind of up in the air and when it was going to be and how it's going to play out. But You know, I'm the type of guy that no matter what, even if I don't have anything coming my way, I'm gonna be training, whether I'm in the gym, I'm running or boxing. And obviously being in this tournament, I knew regardless of if Miami was gonna be a thing or not, that I have another fight in front of me. So me and BJ, you know, we got right back to the drawing board and got back to work. I'm my biggest critic, and like BJ said earlier, he gave that fight a C+ performance. I'd rate it the same or even a little worse. So there, like I said, there's a lot to work on. So we got right back to it, and I'm excited to fight again. I did want to get in the ring again. It didn't work out this month, but hopefully we'll get something scheduled, and it'll be a great build up for the fight.
Quick. It's such a process for Josh. You know, Josh, his fights that he had in the past on Misfits, he never really got real instruction. He never. I hate to say it, with all due respect to the former team or whatever, but he didn't really understand how to attack, and he didn't understand the different levels and different ways to attack when changing levels and attacking the body and the head. And we're kind of processing and putting all that in. We're downloading all that into him right now, and he's just getting more and more comfortable with how to do that. And that's why this last 7 weeks has been so effective. I don't care if the fight gets canceled or what, we still work like 5 to 6 days a week, and a lot to learn for Josh. And he's starting to really like download that information that I've been giving him for the last 6 months. And sometimes it works like that in the sport. It doesn't happen overnight. So he's getting a lot better, and we don't care when the fight is. We're going to keep working like the fight's tomorrow. Yeah, so I think that's kind of where
personally, I think this is worst case scenario for Minikon because like BJ's saying, like we're in the gym, we're working, and I'm a sponge. You know, I'm soaking up everything we're training, and I'm looking to bring that in and like a new set of confidence. You know, I got under the lights again. It had been a while, so you know, you get under there, and the pressure comes, and you lose a little bit of what you learned in the gym. But now we're sparring, we're working on certain stuff. So I think more time for me training is not going to be a good thing for Minikon.
I want to switch gears slightly from your fight, and I want to go to BJ and ask you, this fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, so much controversy around it. I want you to sort of comment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this fight? Do you think this ruins Mike Tyson's legacy? Would you have let Jake Paul take this opportunity?
You know, it's one of those things where Jake and Mike are so close. Like Mike really loves Jake and Jake loves Mike. They really do. So he respects him, and then Netflix was on board. It wouldn't have been my first option by any means, no. But you know, when there's that kind of money involved, it's always tough to turn that down. And Netflix got behind it, and you know, Mike's name is so legendary. There's so iconic. It just, I don't know. You know, like Jake gets ticket off the box. Hey, I fought Mike Tyson on Netflix on the most viewed fight probably ever. I don't know. It's me not being part of the camp now. I still talk to Jake regularly. Like, we text and we talk a little bit here and there. But, when it makes that kind of business sense, I think it's kind of hard to turn down.
Well, Josh, I'm going to come to you now. Having trained under BJ,
and I'm curious,
what are your predictions of that fight?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's going to be a good fight. Mike Tyson, he's a beast, and it's just so hard to say. He's an older guy and Jake's in his prime. So I think it's going to be, no matter what, it's going to be a tough fight. I mean, Mike Tyson's a dog. But yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. I'd like to say Mike Tyson still got it. So I'd like to say that for sure. But I'm almost 30, and it is different when I think back to myself when I was 18 years old. Like, I feel like I'm just getting into my prime, but your body still feels a little different. And I can't imagine at Mike Tyson's age and trying to fight and everything. So I'd be curious to see how it plays out. We'll see.
All right. Last question before you get you out of here. BJ, to turn it over to Tristan Hamm and some attention on him. His last fight against Ashley Rak-Su. Yeah. Was it controversial? How did you feel about that one?
I mean, how did you have it scored, man?
I did score it for Tristan Hamm. I feel like the forward pressure, I feel like the offense was giving him the edge in a lot of those exchanges. Fair credit to Ashley, but I did score for Tristan.
Gil, how'd you have it?
For me, from what I saw, was probably either leaning towards Tristan Hamm or as a draw. I think it was a really close fight, but that forward pressure, there is a lot of merit and a lot of points with that, but I did see a lot of improvements in Ashley Rak-Su's game. So for me, I would have liked to have seen the extra round. I think that would have been the deciding factor.
Yeah.
I thought Ashley's improved a lot, and he doesn't get enough credit because, I want my guy to win the fight, and I just want whatever actually happened in the ring to be portrayed on the decision. And I don't feel like that's what happened on the fight. I was pushing Tristan in the corner, but I thought we had it. 3 rounds to 1, worst case 2-2, but in no scenario did Ashley win 3 rounds, in no scenario. And if we look at the criteria of scoring, clean punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, and defense, in that order, clean punching, number 1, damaging shots, number 1. This isn't amateur boxing. This is professional boxing, and this is boxing where we're looking to do damage, and Ashley was never looking to initiate any damage. Tristan, I thought he won the fight for sure. Worst case scenario for a draw, we're pushing for that now, for that to be relooked at and revisited. And Tristan on that night deserved worst case scenario draw, but most people had him winning. In no way did he lose the fight. I'm not complaining or crying. I'm very matter of fact. And he lost to Le'Veon flat out, clean, no question, clean as can be. But that fight was not portrayed. The decision did not portray what happened in the ring. So we're working on that right now. We're doing an appeal process, and I just want Tristan to be fairly treated, and that's it for all my guys. And if they lose, I'll be the first to tell them. And that's not what happened on that night.
All fairness from Coach BJ. We'll give the last word to Mr. Brueckner here. Any final thoughts for the fans back home, Josh?
Yeah, I'm training hard. I'm looking to put on a show for you guys. As soon as we have a date, you guys will know about it. And I'm looking to build up this fight, and I'll be the first guy to stop Minikon in the ring.
We film everything that Josh does every day. We film it every day, and I look over it at night. And I got to tell you, honestly, like, I'm excited. Josh is going to do very well. He's going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to be ready to be like fighting big name guys very soon. I'm telling you, he's got that dog in him, and he's got that type of work ethic, and he's got that kind of ability. So I'm really excited about it. I'm probably more excited than he is, because I see how far he can go, and he's still not sure how far he can go yet. But I'm telling you, he's going.
I love it. Full belief from BJ Flores. The renaissance of Josh Brueckner continues to be complete. Thank you guys so much for your time, and we cannot wait to see you soon.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, have a good one.
What an episode of Misfits News. I can't wait for some announcements coming very soon. Hope we get them. Always trying to bring you the latest updates, so make sure you like, subscribe. We'll see you every Tuesday and Thursday, God willing. I've been your host, Ben the Bane Davis, joined by my co-host, BL, and we might see you in the next episode.